The health benefits of certain mushrooms are quite mind-blowing. So today I'm going to take some of the confusions that people have about mushrooms and just make it really, really simple. So if you have a very specific health problem, you'll know exactly what to take. But they're in the family of fungus, okay, or fungi. And fungi is very interesting because there's more related DNA-wise to a fungus than there is to plants. In other words, like plants have photosynthesis, so they actually breathe in CO2 and they make oxygen. Well, mushrooms, which is a type of fungus, don't do that. They breathe in oxygen and release CO2, very similar to humans. They actually share 50% of their DNA, which basically means they have certain blueprints that make certain chemicals that we can use for the benefit of our own health. Fungi is the largest and oldest organism on planet Earth. In fact, in just one handful of soil from the forest, you have literally 26 miles of a certain type of fungi called mycelium. So there is a tremendous amount of fungus working in the soil with the roots of plants, exchanging different nutrients to make sure that plant has the nutrients that it needs, and getting certain sugars from the plants as their food. And so really it's the fungus that mobilize the minerals in the soil. And so without this fungus, the plant really has a hard time getting nutrition. Fungus is also responsible for breaking things down, like organic matter, trees, wood, leaves, etc. So they are the great recyclers. But today we're going to talk about key mushrooms that you need to know about. And I want to make it really, really simple for you. The first one is the reishi mushroom, okay? This mushroom could be thought of as a natural Xanax. Now, of course, I'm not promoting medication, but this is the natural version without the side effects. And what does that medication do? It's purported to help you with anxiety and helping you calm down. Therefore, it's also good for sleep. If you want to increase your tolerance to stress, if you want to counter stress and cortisol, this mushroom might be a good one to add to your diet. The next one is lion's mane, okay? Because it looks like a lion's mane. This one could be considered like a natural Adderall, but without the side effects. What is that drug? Well, it's used for people with cognitive problems, attention deficit issues. And a lot of college students take it to increase their learning abilities because it kind of speeds up the central nervous system to a certain degree. Lion's mane is specifically good for cognitive function, improving focus, concentration, memory. A lot of people take it as a coffee replacement in the morning, but it has some really interesting benefits in repairing and regenerating nerve tissue and myelin sheath around the nerve. It has something called the neurotrophic factor, which just helps support nerve growth in general, specifically in the area of the brain called the hippocampus, which is involved with cognitive function to a certain degree. This mushroom also has been known to increase something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. That's kind of like Miracle-Gro, but for your brain. So it helps the nerves grow. So when you think about lion's mane, think cognitive improvements and anything related to a breakdown in your brain, like neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia. Then we have the shiitake mushroom. That mushroom is good for blood pressure. It's really beneficial for your gut microbiome. A good portion of our immune system is in the gut. And shiitake mushroom can actually increase the killer T cells, which are responsible for
we're going to talk
killing
about
viruses.
Maitake mushroom, okay? It's a fungus, and it has amazing properties for cancer. It contains a compound called beta-D-glucans, okay? This actually will help your immune system fight cancer. It increases natural killer T cells. It increases macrophages, which are those white blood cells that eat up other cells, especially of the breast, the liver, and the lung. It also has great properties for insulin resistance and improving diabetes. I'll put some links down below. If you want to get this in a supplement, it comes in something called Maitake D fraction. That's like a concentrated amount of this chemical right here. But there's several trials right now that have been done to show significant decrease in risk of certain types of cancer. I'll put the links down below. but it also will shrink tumors. So if you have like fibroids, for example, and they keep growing back, I would be consuming these. I think another reason why this is really good for cancer is because it also will decrease the bad type of estrogen in your body. It also improves the symptoms of cancer and actually will help shrink tumors.
In this video, I want to talk about a
fibroids.
really good remedy if you have adrenal fatigue and chronic lung problems or congestion, asthma, bronchitis, emphysema, things like that. And it's called cordyceps, or another name would be the Tibetan caterpillar fungus. So what's unique about this fungus, it's kind of like a parasite that has the ability to completely take over the central nervous system and brain of insects, okay? So it's like a wild mushroom that grows at very high altitudes. And because of that, it's developed a system of extracting a lot of oxygen from the air. And when you consume this, it can increase your lung capacity, your recovery from stress, your overall vitality. It's antimicrobial. It can increase the ATP, which is the energy resource in your mitochondria. It can increase the oxygen carrying capacity to allow you to breathe better. And like I said before, it's great for asthma, bronchitis, and all sorts of lung conditions. Now, back in 1993 and 1994, there were 3 Chinese athletes, long distance runners, who won 5 records, not just by seconds, but by something like 20 or 30 seconds, okay? And they tested them to see if they were on steroids because they just couldn't believe that they could do this. Now, they tested negative for steroids, but they did mention they consumed a mixture of cordyceps and some other herbs. So this would be great for an athlete that needs endurance, especially if you're a runner and you need good lung capacity, but it's also good for the person who has chronic lung conditions and adrenal fatigue.
All right, so reishi is good as a natural Xanax for calming down the flight or fight mechanism or cortisol. Then we have lion's mane, which is everything to do with cognitive function, helping you concentrate, helping you focus. Then we have shiitake, which is 3 things: cholesterol, blood pressure, and your immune system.